When we talk about kingdoms of old in Nigeria, it is impossible not to mention the Great Benin Empire. This was one of three great empires that thrived before the coming of the Europeans. Alongside Oyo and Kanam, these empires were so powerful that they are still talked about today. The sheer might of the Benin Empire is enough to send shivers down your spine. The Benin Empire was an enigma. It was so powerful that its neighbors feared it. It had a massive army, sophisticated technology, and unbelievable wealth. When news of their power reached other kingdoms, many became enamored and wanted to be like them. Many of these kingdoms copied the Benin Kingdom. Benin was a force to be reckoned with. No one dared start a war with them, or at least no one that wanted to survive. But there was one small village that dared to challenge this empire. This small village would stand against the Benin army, stopping them in their tracks. This is the story of the 1818 War, a war between the mighty Benin Empire and the small village of Akure. But before we get into this video, if you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. Let's go. In present-day Nigeria, the Benin Empire is now split between Edo State and Delta State. Benin City serves as the capital of Edo State. While cities like Warri and Sapele are found in Delta State, the Benin Empire is considered to have started around 1200 AD according to oral tradition. The word Benin actually comes from the name Bini, which was shortened to Benin by Europeans. The exact origin of the Benin people is unknown. Some believe they came from Ile Ife in present-day Osun State, while others believe they migrated from the east. Perhaps even from the ancient city of Nri, regardless of where they came from. When they arrived in the region, they quickly grew in number and power, creating one of the most recognizable empires in African history. At its peak, the Benin Empire was unbelievably wealthy, having traded items such as ivory, cowrie shells, indigo dye, pepper, gold, silk, brass, and especially slaves. Their wealth is often compared to that of the European Renaissance princes. Their ruler was called the Oba, who was considered a god on earth. The Oba ruled with absolute power and was assisted by a council of chiefs. The Benin Empire had a standing army that was the envy of the region. They had an advanced smelting technology that enabled them to make awesome bronze sculptures and amazing weapons. To put this technology into perspective, the Benin Empire had mastered the art of iron smelting by 1473, while it would take Europe another 200 years to develop the same skill. This technological advantage made the Benin Empire rich and powerful. Its military prowess is believed to have spread fear across the land, as no one could withstand their impressive army. The Benin Empire was huge, covered a large part of what is now southern Nigeria and parts of Cameroon and Togo. By the 18th century, the empire covered more than 8,000 square miles and contained over 3 million subjects. But despite all this wealth, power, and influence, the Benin Empire would eventually fall, thanks to one small village, the Kingdom of Akure. So how did this happen? Before we continue, we need to understand the landscape in which this war took place. Akure is a town located in the northern part of present-day Ondo State in Nigeria. It lies just north of the Ikiti State border, which itself borders Oyo State, just like the Benin Empire. The origin of the Akure people is also shrouded in mystery. Historians and researchers believe that the Akure people came from Ile Ife, like the Benin Empire. However, unlike the Benin Empire, the Akure Kingdom was smaller and much weaker. But what they lacked in size and power, they made up for in courage and fighting spirit. Well, let's get back to the video. In those days, the Oyo Empire was a powerful force in the region, but it didn't hold any power over Akure. This is because of a treaty signed between Akure and Oyo, which stipulated that Akure would remain a neutral state in times of war, meaning that neither Oyo nor any of its enemies could wage war against Akure. During the reign of Oba of Benin, he decided to expand his territory. He sent messengers to all neighboring towns and kingdoms, demanding that they pay him tribute or face the wrath of his army. Most kingdoms listened to his demands and paid their tributes, but Akure refused. They refused not only because they couldn't afford to lose their freedom, but also because they didn't want to be under the rule of someone they considered inferior. You see, the Akure people believed they were superior to the Benin people and would unaccept being ruled over by them. Oba, or Nomiakwa, wasn't pleased with this response. He expected everyone to submit to his rule, but these tiny villagers had other plans. The Oba was furious and vowed to punish the village. He raised an army and marched on Akure, only to be defeated by the Akure army. This defeat shocked the entire region, as no one had ever defeated the Benin army. News of the defeat spread to other kingdoms, and some rulers began to question their decision to submit to the Oba. Could it be that their new master wasn't invincible after all? Determined to succeed where his father failed, Oramigwa's son, Ohingpaza, took the throne. He wasted no time in preparing for war. He assembled the largest army Benin had ever seen, complete with cavalry. He then divided the army into 3 battalions, each under the command of one of his brothers. He also brought in mercenaries from neighboring tribes to ensure victory. The army was ready, and Oba Ahinkaza set out to conquer Akure once and for all. He led his men through thick bush and tall grasses, finally spotting Akure from afar. On one side of the village was a steep mountain that acted as a natural barrier. On the other side was a deep valley filled with dangerous animals. The only way into the village was through a narrow path that wound its way through the forest. The path was so narrow that an elephant couldn't pass through. Shinkaza knew that defending this path would be easy, so he ordered his men to cut down all the trees near the entrance, making it open and easy to attack. With the path clear, his army entered the village, destroying everything in sight. As the Benin army moved through the village, they encountered fierce resistance from the Akure warriors. But the Benin army was too strong and soon overpowered the Akure warriors. As the battle raged on, the brave king of Akure was captured. Enraged by his insolence, Oba Ahinkaza ordered that he be taken to the river and drowned. After conquering Akure, Oba Ahinkaza returned home with a massive amount of plunder. He was celebrated as a hero, and many believed that his victory over Akure would bring an end to any opposition to Benin rule. But little did he know that the spirit of Akure would live on. You see, while it is true that the Benin army defeated the Akure army, they never really took over Akure. After the war, the king of Benin appointed one of his men as the chief of Akure. But despite this, the people of Akure never submitted to the king of Benin. Even today, you will find people in Akure claiming descent from the king of Akure that was drowned by the Benin army. Following this war, Benin attempts to expand its territory failed. In fact, the Benin Empire began to decline shortly after this war. While there are many theories as to why the empire declined, many historians point towards this war as a turning point in the empire's history. The war with Akure exposed the empire's military and technological weaknesses, causing it to begin its slow decline. The war between Benin and Akure is an important event in West African history. It was one of the first recorded conflicts between African states and shows the military and political organization of African societies. The war also shows the importance of small states in the history of Africa. Despite their small size, states like Akure played an important role in the politics of the region. The war between Benin and Akure has been romanticized over the years, with the Akure people considering it a victory for their people and a symbol of resistance against oppression. On the other hand, the Benis see the event as a temporary setback that had no real impact on the overall strength of the empire. It is important to note that both the Akure and Benin kingdoms have contributed greatly to the cultural heritage of Nigeria. The art, architecture, and traditions of these kingdoms are still admired today and serve as a reminder of the rich history of Nigeria. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe. We've got lots of interesting videos coming up. See you next time.